Hello, and welcome to the Goats and Gamebots podcast, the unlicensed and completely uncalled for Survivor podcast. I'm Jack Pickard, Survivor superfan and rightful heir to the Probst Tribal Council stump. I'm also joined by my co-host, the Minnesotan vibing, Zach Madsen.
What's that?
And the New England dateless, Andrew Terzigny.
Hi.
As always, the goal of this podcast is about two gamebots, Zach and myself, dragging our friend Andrew along our 40-season binge of Survivor. Today we'll be discussing Season 4, the Marquesas. So if you don't want that spoiled for you...
Got another quarter, grab stuff, head back to camp.
Bye.
For those of you still with us, let's get it on. 40 seasons, 3 goofballs, 1 pointless podcast. Fellas, how we doing? Is that didgeridoo?
Yeah.
We are past the didgeridoo.
Yeah, less didgeridoo.
It's still Survivor relevant.
It's in the culture.
How we doing today? How we feeling?
Good, feeling good. Drinking a Monster, feeling good. Caffeine.
So it'll be an interesting one for
It's
sure.
gonna be a good one.
No ice cold Sierra Mist or Coors Light. Nothing in line with the sponsors of this season.
Not yet.
Is it Coors Light? We're going Coors Light.
I think it is Coolers.
Coolers Light.
It's coolers of light.
Did they do beer this season?
Yeah.
Did I already forget?
It was at the merge between Boston Rob and Kathy.
Was it?
They were throwing back
they
some
were crushing Coorses.
Yeah, they were.
Were they?
Yeah, they were.
Let's go.
Yeah, I don't know what brand the pizza was. It was they didn't say.
A1 Marquesian pizza.
Yeah.
A1 Marquesian Pizza.
Did you guys ever have A1 pizza in your town?
No.
Absolutely not.
We had 3 different A1 pizzas.
Is it just a New England thing then?
Is A1 the brand name?
No, it was so you would show up first in the phone book.
Oh.
A1
so it's like cheating
pizza.
the system.
Yeah.
So it was 3 different places with the same name just to...
I don't think
Get
they
ahead
were
of the
ever
competition?
open at the same time. I think it was like
It just got
A1
passed
pizza.
around. It's a mantle to gets
Yeah.
passed from one person to... It's like Captain America.
And they would all equally fail just as fast.
yeah.
Some would open in the same location.
Yeah. Remember phone books? I guess that's like...
People
you know.
realize they're like, wait a minute, the only thing that's good about you is that you're first in the phone book. Your pizza's ass.
Other than that,
Yeah, it's like, what can you tell us about your pizza? Well, we're first alphabetically. Sean would love us.
Sean would love us.
But yeah, so we've just finished the season, coming right off of the reunion with Rosie O'Donnell.
Rosie! Sorry,
That was a great impression.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, but I mean, we were talking about it just from Bryant Gumbel, like going from like Bryant, which is like perpetually at a 5. And Rosie is never less than like a 10.
Well, Brian Gumbel's thing is he's at a 5, but in his head he thinks he's at a 10. He's always got that shit.
He's just like overhyping himself.
I'm clearly the best host for this.
Yeah.
No, I liked Rosie, believe it or not, because when we started it, I was like, oh fuck, great.
Yeah.
Rosie O'Donnell, but for whatever reason, there's something charming about that.
When we got that musical
woman.
number.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, bring back musical numbers at reunions.
Yeah.
I'm looking
Specifically so that Jeff can do him. Jeff Probst.
Ooh, yeah, I was
Right?
thinking possibly like a Rosie Jeff Sia combination for winners
So
of
Rosie's back.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
Okay.
got it. I mean,
That's
paying homage here.
Have you guys seen the Jeff Probst rap?
No.
He did something for Mad TV where
Oh
he
my
was
God.
like rapping about something. I believe it's making fun of the fact that they did Survivor Race Wars.
Oh.
Yeah. Talk amongst yourself. I'll crunch this number since I got the soundboard hooked up.
I mean-
But Andrew, how did we feel? Number one, you're a tribal council guy, right? How did we feel about tribal council this season as opposed to the other seasons?
I mean, this tribal council was weak. It was very... Have you seen the Australian Outback? That
Edge of a
tribal
cliff.
council's amazing. It's so cool. It's on the edge of a cliff. It's a waterfall. This one's just on the beach
Yeah.
in a hut.
Okay, so for seasons 1 to 4, how are we rating them? What's number 1? Is it the Outback?
Yeah, the Outback is number 1.
And then Africa?
And then Africa was pretty cool.
Then middle of the jungle in Borneo.
Uh-huh.
And then we got this one, which
This-
is like
yeah.
church camp. It's
Yeah.
like this nice little hut in the middle, and they like walk down a stone path, and it's like clearly just like in a bush somewhere. So yeah, not quite what we've been used to in terms of the tribal council setup so far.
I love that we are in the first minutes of this podcast. We're already talking about Trump.
Yeah.
It's really not that important to the game.
Yeah.
I think it's
we gotta-
crucial. It sets the tone of tribal council.
Yeah.
How
You think it affects gameplay?
I think that it makes things much more dramatic. The edge of the cliff with a waterfall is way more dramatic than
I
a
don't
hut.
disagree with that. I don't disagree with that at all.
Yeah.
I just think that
We gotta get Andrew's tribal council review in every season to know how he feels.
I wrote it down.
Hey, I mean, I have a note for him too about it. Listen, I'm a big fan of getting your input on the tribal councils. I just think it's funny that it's the first thing we're talking about.
Of course, you got to jump right into it. You know, the people got to know.
The people got to know.
How does Andrew feel about
do
this
have
tribal
to.
council?
And since we're on the note of it, the number I crunched, just going through my notes, I saw a tribal council trivia thing, and I was like, I have to write this down for Andrew.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Love
and
it.
it's not even that big of a thing, and we already know this, but it is the first tribal to feature a roof over their heads.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Yes.
Which I
that's
understand can take away some of the drama from, like, I don't know, maybe they can't light it the same way as they could with an open area. But I think they knew they were coming to Marquesas, and it's a very tropical area, so they're like, maybe we should just be kind and build a roof. But obviously that's not something they think about in the future, because there's so many more tribals where in rainy climates where they don't give them
And then they didn't really have any, at least what we saw, they didn't really have much weather-related stuff.
It didn't seem like weather played as much of a factor as, like, the inhabitants of where they were.
Yeah,
with,
like the
bugs
no-nos
everything,
and-
those no-nos?
That
Yeah.
played more of a factor than any sort of...
Yeah, I
they
don't even
weren't
remember it raining.
Yeah, and I don't remember too many people complaining about being hot or anything.
Yeah. No, it was
just those
It was a
no-nos.
starving season.
Yeah.
It was a season where they didn't have a whole lot. Because also, when they dropped them off, no food, no water. Like, they gave them a specific amount of items, and that's all they had. So we saw people trying to craft, like, slingshots out of the little rubber thing that you keep your glasses on. Little BB's fashion statement, you know? Making slingshots and shit out of that.
That was actually something... We pre-number crunched on this episode. We were prepared. Zach, did you come up with anything to the answer of why did they not give them anything to start with?
I don't have any answers. They don't really
Fucking knew
say. But, they're left there. They give them 2 machetes, 2 cooking pots, 2 empty water containers, 1 frying pan, 1 fillet knife, and 1 magnifying glass. So that's what they got to start with. No food.
Yeah.
I don't know if there was really a bigger reason other than them being like, it's Survivor, catch your own food, eat your own food.
Didn't Jeff also say no flints? Like, if you don't
He
have
didn't give
fire,
them
you don't
fire
have fire.
whatsoever.
So
I think they're trying to not pamper them as much, but in reality, they were kind of killing them.
Yeah, right.
those aren't like
Those
at
are
least the
essentials.
Flint's not a pamper item. That's essential. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's still getting its footing in terms of what do we strand these people with, you know? And also, they just sort of brought him in the hull of that boat. You remember? Somebody was like,
Somebody
I
was
think it was
throwing
Nalia
up.
was vomiting in the hull of that boat, and they're all just like, okay, now paddle 3 hours to your
Yeah.
beach.
Big long paddle.
Crazy.
Yeah.
To do that number crunch that I said before, this is,
the
I
rap.
looked it up. Yeah, this is Mad TV, Jeff Probst on it. We'll see.
We're listening to the whole thing.
Of the most popular reality show on television. And now, Jeff Probst puts down his conch shell and picks up a mic to sing songs
Oh, no.
inspired by
No.
Fiverr. You get all
They have a little cover for him they made.
Put your clothes on, fatty. Put your clothes on, fatty.
Ooh.
You're not the island home. Hide your ding dong, fatty. No one.
Jeff's rocking a hat. Nice hat. Yeah.
All right, so yeah.
I don't know.
think-
So
I kinda wanna finish.
are any of these raps?
I'm pretty sure. Let me fast forward and see if I can find the Race Wars one.
Yeah.
'cause
I need to know if he has bars. Because I know he does. So I want the confirmation that he has bars.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get.
But I mean, for those of you listening, that's everybody that's not us. Hold on.
Thank God there ain't no Indians, cause they scalp you in the night.
So
I was gonna say, for those of you who can't see this, which is everybody but us, Jeff's on the beach. Look at him dancing.
he's got that cowboy hat.
But yeah, he's rocking the traditional blue button down. He's got the sleeves rolled up to his elbows, and then he's got his is that a cowboy hat?
That is a
Safari hat.
Yeah, safari
Yeah.
boy
Sun hat,
something
yeah.
like that. Yeah,
He's looking good.
and that's a Queen Latifah impersonator that he's dancing along with.
Yeah.
So I don't think he has bars. We don't have like confirmation of bars, but he can sing and make fun of himself. So we know that. Those numbers are crunched.
Those numbers are crunched.
have been crunched.
There's no denying that.
You know, honestly, there might be some sound bits. I'm going to scourge this once we're done to try and find. I can't remember. Put your clothes on, fatty. You know, he said you're not the island hunk. I think we can use that, especially since we talk religiously about the hunk and the babe of the season. There's some bits in here.
Are we referring to them now as the island hunk and the island babe?
I think
Should
maybe,
we?
yeah. And this is worth mentioning because I think we've come to the conclusion that so far it's just been playful discussions, right? But Survivor is a game where somebody wins, right? And because of that, the hunk and the babe is something that somebody should win. It should be an official hunk and the babe of the season, right?
Like
official,
in the show?
No, in our podcast, right?
Yeah. I mean, why not?
Yeah.
We make the rules.
Yeah. So
Let's do it.
From this point forward,
Nobody answers to us. But
You guys can't tell us what to do and what not to do.
So from this point forward, we will be picking an official one, and that'll be the thing. You know, there's 3 of us. We can get a majority, 2 to 3 vote going thing. So, yeah, we'll try and get an official babe and hunk from this point forward.
For all our listeners,
Hi, Mom.
hi Jack's mom.
Hey, Steve.
Retroactively.
I hope someone named Steve is watching.
Yeah, no, he's going to be like, yo.
He's talking about me.
They know I'm
That's
the biggest
me.
fan.
I'm Steve.
Retroactively, what are our first 3 unanimous Island Babe and Island Hunks?
Oh, okay. So far,
that-
what do we have?
yes.
All right,
Number
'cause
crunched.
I wrote these down just based off our discussions. I think some of them are pretty obvious. Like season 1, the island is it Island Babe? Is that what we're going with?
Yeah.
Now? The official Island Babe and hunk were Colleen and Jervis. There's a bit of discussion on there, but we kind of got together and said Jervis is probably the best option, the official one. For season 2, Amber is the official Island Babe,
Amber.
and the official Island hunk is Varner.
Yep.
Yeah. Season 3, Kim Powers, 100%.
Obviously.
And even though I said Lex, you guys overpower me with the 2, so it is Ethan Zahn as our official Island Babe and hunk.
There we go. 1, 2, 3.
From this point forward, we will know the official ones at the end. And I'm saying once we get a wealth of seasons in here, let's run a bracket. You know, let's compare people. Let's see how they doing. Especially
We're gonna raise the stakes, baby.
Yeah, like I think it's going to be interesting because we might have Parvati Cook Islands going against Parvati Heroes versus Villains, and who knows who's going to win? You know,
We could have a Poverty final 2.
we could have like 3 or 4 Parvatis at this
Wow.
point. Yeah.
Yeah.
We could have,
Lot of
dare I
Parvatis.
say,
She could be the whole final 4.
we have a Michelle final.
Who?
We'll talk about that in our season 4. We'll see.
Who's Michelle?
Oh, Michelle Fitzgerald. You might be familiar from Korong.
Yes. Yes.
Winners
yes.
at War?
Of Korang and
From the finale of Winners at War. Good on you, good on me.
For making it.
Yeah.
That's right. Even though we haven't officially watched it yet.
Yeah.
Because it's not aired. But she is a part of it.
But she will be there.
There's no denying she's...
We know for a fact she'll be there.
Yep.
There's no denying that her and everybody who's competed in this season will be in that episode.
Yeah. And
In
even
some fashion.
even some from the Edge who really weren't.
And maybe even Sandra.
Well, she'll definitely be there for the reunion. Does that
She'll
count?
be there for the reunion.
Oh,
Does
the
that count?
reunion. Okay,
Yeah.
I was kind of scratching my head.
That's what I
there.
was thinking in my
I get
head.
it. And it will be interesting to see the Zoom reunion. That's
Oh,
that's
yeah.
going to be
Zoom
very
in.
interesting.
Because
And
there's the ever constant reminder that we're in quarantine.
yeah, here's the thing. By the time we're releasing this, it will have already been done. So we'll have the answers. But at this point in time, who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows what it's going to be like? All right, so I think it's time that we actually jump into the season, dissect a few different things. This, I think, right off the bat, especially when you're comparing it to the Outback, that has 50% of people returning, we
Very
only got
different
2
here.
returners
Yeah.
in this one, right?
But one of them is the returner.
But still,
Yeah, that's
when
fair.
you go from half the cast to only 2,
Yeah.
and then of those 2, only 1 will ever play again. Because we got a couple of trifectas in there.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this one is interesting because, again, we only have Kathy and Boston Rob that are coming back. I honestly, after going back to this, I knew it was Boston Rob season. I knew Kathy was in it, right? But I was impressed with some of the other, like Sean. I really
great.
enjoyed Sean. I think Sean was a fantastic add to this season. It's surprising to me that he hasn't come back.
Yeah. I feel like as far as people that didn't come back that I would like to see come back, Sean for sure, obviously.
Yeah.
I think Pascal would have been cool to see again.
Yeah,
and
I
then honestly, Vesepia, it would have been cool to see her again. But other
Yeah.
than that, this cast, I don't know. John's sort of entertaining. I kind of like John.
You can
Johnny
see
Pots
John.
and Pans?
Johnny Pots and Pans.
I believe it's what is his name?
Johnny Pots and Pans.
That's our guy.
Johnny Pots and Pans.
Johnny
Now I
Pots and
remember
Pans.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all know him. We all love him.
I forgot about him.
We
for
all
a
spent the
second.
whole season with him.
Yeah.
And then
It's
you
Johnny
said
Pots and Pans.
you told me Johnny Pots and Pans, and it all came back.
And there it was.
Personally, I don't know how you guys feel, but his tribal council speech, where he's like sort of talking to people, we actually have it here on the soundboard, so I'll play it in just a second. To me, I think it comes off as the first time where somebody is trying to play the fan favorite route. Where, yes, we have people who are, playing to win. Colby, everybody loved Colby, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't feel like he was hamming it up for the camera as much as John was.
Ooh.
And this kind of feels like a moment where the fourth wall is broken a little bit, and like returners don't really exist at this point, but I feel like John was shooting for a returner.
Was trying to come back.
Listen to his final tribal council speech and tell me if you agree with this.
Why
This is the
hell
first time
should
I'm
I
hearing
give
this.
you my vote? Plain and simple. And knowing me, Johnny Pots and Pans, you knew me for 24 days, you know who I am, why should I give you my vote?
Because he's so at the center of his own question. Like, he's saying, why should I give you my vote? Why the hell should I give you my vote? But it's all centered around him, right? Like, he calls himself Johnny Pots and Pans.
Johnny Pots and Pans.
To me, that's transparent.
Something we've
of, like,
never heard until this moment.
It's maybe said once
It's
in
not
the pre-merge.
Was it? If it was, I must have missed it, because when you hear something like that, it changes you.
Yeah.
I'm
I
forever
also missed
different
it.
knowing
with
he's
you.
Johnny Pots and Pans.
But yeah, no, I mean...
I think you're right a little bit. Or it could just be... maybe he's just... You know what? He probably just likes attention. Because he's a Gemini.
Oh.
Yeah.
And we know this why.
Because he's got a Gemini tattoo on his shoulder.
That's for
A big
it is-
fucking one, too.
So, you
like
as
a really
Gemini are saying-
obnoxiously big one.
Gotcha.
As someone who also has a Gemini symbol tattooed on them in a very tasteful place and size,
his left ass cheek.
I think I'm allowed to criticize. It's my left ass.
I mean, let's not also forget there was that challenge where Jeff was saying, tell me this person's middle name. Why did Boston Rob say he was going to come on the show? What excuse did he use? And he reached in his pocket and pulled out John's American flag belly button ring.
Oh, yeah.
And said, whose American flag belly button ring is this?
Whose belly button ring is this?
I
You want to win $1 million? Tell me whose belly button ring this is.
That very well could be
$1 million belly button ring.
It really was. Man.
Shit.
It's crazy when you think about it like
For
that.
real.
But going back to Vesepia, this is another one that you did not know the winner of.
Did not.
How do you feel about Vesepia as a winner?
I like her. She's great. She's very likable. I understand why she won. But this is, without a doubt, this is Kathy's season.
Yes.
It's Kathy's season.
Kathy
Kathy's
is the
season.
star. From day one, Kathy is the star.
She has a rare arc where not a lot of people you root for by the end of the season are people you could not stand at the beginning.
Yeah, I
It's
did not
so
like
rare.
Kathy.
And that's worth mentioning because I remember vividly, this is one of the first seasons that Zach sat down and watched with me when I was doing my watch through. And I was just the entire beginning of the season I can't stand Kathy. I hate Kathy. Kathy is so annoying. But then by the end, I was in the same place
Right.
where he was like, just wait, you'll root for her. Trust me. And by
Yeah.
the end, I was like,
She's
same as you.
amazing.
Yeah, she's awesome. But I also, the first time around, was not a big fan at first, and she grows on you so much.
So much.
Yeah.
But
It's impossible for her not to. Also, this has a lot to say about who she is as a person. There's a reason we get so much of her, right? Because she's
such an interesting person.
Yeah, she's really cool. She has this great arc, but when the edit's just focused around her every episode.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's a bad thing necessarily, but it's if you go back and just go through each episode, drag the cruiser by and just kind of see snapshots of what happened, you're
Yeah.
going to see Kathy a lot, because so many things that happen, whether it's a personal thing or a game related thing, usually are rooted around her. Right? Is if there's some sort of drama going on, Kathy has something to do with it, right?
Yeah.
Some personal growth moment happens, it's Kathy's moment, right?
Yeah.
And then game wise, you think about it, other than Rob, no one plays more of the game of Survivor than Kathy. And they're watching her at all times.
And they do have that like merge feast where they go off together, they sort of form a pact, and like that is, you can start to see the wheels turning where Kathy's like, I need to start playing the game now. Right. Where Rob's like, oh, that's like they're lying to you, right? And she's like, oh, I never considered that, right? So now she's forced to play the game. And then we see her confiding in her son, being like, do I play the game or do I stay true to who I think I am? Yeah. And I think that the reason that you start out not liking Kathy and end up loving her by the end is because she did undergo like a personal transformation. You were watching her change as a person. And like, it's understandable to maybe not be a fan of the person that she came in as, but love the person that she left as.
Yeah. She's
so I wonder how much that has to do
she's
with
fantastic.
It. Yeah. She's great. And like you said multiple times, like Kathy deserves to win this game in the finale. You said that.
This was from like 5 or 6 episodes from the end. You were like, this is Kathy's season. Almost, I would probably say at that merge, when they get Boston Rob out that episode, and then the next episode, that's when you know it's hers.
Exactly.
It's hers for the taking.
Yeah.
And then just, you know.
And I think that
it was hers.
The game happened. Yeah.
Cause, well, that's the thing is, like, she's playing with her back against the wall. Pretty
the
much
whole season.
Yeah, because like she's got a good thing going after the tribe swap, where it is a small tribe, but she's got Pascal and Aaliyah who are very like close with her, and you know, like I think she felt good there. But like as soon as the swap happened, she's kind of like not really sure where her place is. So she's playing a little more defensively, right? She's listening more. Like you can see when like she has an epiphany about the game, right? Someone will tell her something, and she'll kind of sit there and like you'll see like just kind of this smile show up on her face of like dumbfoundedness. She's like, I can't believe I didn't think of that, right?
Yeah.
And because she has to play with her back against the wall, I think it gives her even that much more motivation to make bigger moves that she does, you know? And I still think one of like the bigger moves she could have done, though obviously who knows how it would have worked out. I think if she would have stayed with Visepia and Sean in that final 5, could have had a better shot. Of going to the end, who knows? But like all that matters is like in that episode, it's all about Kathy because she's the swing vote. She got herself in that position. You know, like she was never riding coattails. She never had anyone else with her. She had to play the game because there was no other choice.
And at that point too, not only does like Kathy's game evolve and the game as a whole evolve because pretty much everybody's playing the game. I feel like Tribal Council really evolved too because there is that moment where Jeff is like pressing Sean, and Sean is like, it feels weird to talk about this, but I'm just gonna lay out my strategy. Like me and Visepia are a 2. You come with us, like we're more likely to turn on each other than Aaliyah and Pascal. And so Jeff,
which is a great argument.
Jeff is helping Kathy cut a deal almost. He's like, okay, well it seems like they're a 2. Kathy, you're the one with the power. So it's cool to kind of see it evolve in that way. And then the episode after, Kathy is cutting deals at Tribal, being like, Visepia, you and I, let's go to the 2. Right? Like it kind of evolves and catches fire at the end where the game is really being played.
Yeah. I mean, this is the first season too where like you see deals being made like this because I mean, it's the first time we've really seen flip-flopping after the merge because after Rob goes home, you see Pappy and Aaliyah flip with Kathy to get out everyone else, right?
And that's probably the move of the season.
Yeah.
The first like real
that flips everything.
And that's the thing. So it's like when trust is such a big thing in human relationship, and when you come into the game of Survivor, especially this early on, not really understanding how to play it, like when you like lose that trust, it's everything, right? And so many people betrayed people's trusts. So by the final 5, like that's what makes it so interesting, because it's like Kathy doesn't really know where to go. She doesn't know who she can trust. She doesn't, you know, like I think, you know, I mean, I don't know. It's just like it was really cool to see them be forced in a position to play. Right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And well, no. Going back to that really big move that sort of flipped the game on its head, where Aaliyah and Pascal turned.
It's bonkers after that.
Yeah.
As far as early seasons go.
Yeah. Andrew, as a challenge boy, how did you feel about the challenge that I think sparked that, right? Where they have to cut the ropes, the coconuts fall.
Oh, yeah.
How did you feel about that as a challenge person? Good challenge, bad challenge?
Weird challenge.
Weird?
Like, it was cool. It was, first of all, these challenges this season, much better.
Still no Jeff announcing.
Closer, though. A lot of these challenges have Jeff announcing.
Yeah.
Or at least some
kind of
form
goes back
of
to a
announcing.
cheerleading role in this one, which
but
is interesting.
still, compared to nothing, it's beautiful.
I felt his presence a little
But,
bit more. 'Cause I'm not always looking out for that thing, but
Yeah.
you can just kind of feel it.
And, But even music-wise, like Jeff isn't announcing, but it's much more like there is tension when you're watching the challenges because the music cues are there. They've really trimmed a lot of the fat.
And you know what's going on because everything is color-coded now.
Yeah.
Everything.
That was that's my third note I wrote in episode 1. I said they're cleaning up the clunk. Like it doesn't feel so weird anymore.
And we mentioned that even coming into the season early, you're like, this is Survivor now.
Yeah.
Like it took a while to find its footing, and like even then, like the gameplay elements are still playing catch up in certain ways, but like it aesthetically is Survivor. The confessionals are shot the same way they do them now. Like
this is what I would have assumed season 1 would have looked like.
Okay.
You had asked me like, describe what you think season 1 is.
Interesting.
Okay,
somewhere along the lines of Marquesas.
I can absolutely see that too, because Marquesas is so put together while still being so loose at the same time. You know, it really does feel like a season 1, but like that's the thing. Like it had to have those first 3 seasons to get here. Yeah, and that just is a testament to like the growth that it overall in 40 fucking seasons, but like just from 1 to 4, huge jump.
Huge.
Yeah.
But
noticeable.
The reason I bring up that challenge is because that's where I think we start to see a little bit, like so far it's like you either win the challenge or you don't, and if you don't, you are forced to play the game, right? This is bringing the game to the challenge, saying, okay, you have to chop a rope, and because of that, their pecking order is displayed visually. Like until then, Pappy and Nalia know that they're sort of in that spot, but seeing it play out like that's what causes them to flip.
I wrote this down. Nalia brought Pappy aside and she was like, hey, you saw the challenge today. You saw what happened. We have to do something.
Yeah.
Right
well, like
now.
even during the challenge, because Sean and them were sitting on the side, and Sean says, he's like, this is their order for us.
Yeah, she was like, we have to do something right now or we will be gone in 4 weeks.
And I think that's the whole reason they have that game in there in these early seasons. I mean, it comes back even later, but it's like it's like a dedicated way to like make everybody like they have no choice. You have to show your alliance ties, or you can try to be smart about it, but it's like
there's nowhere to hide.
Yeah, it's really tough. Yeah, it's tough.
I loved that. That was great.
Yeah, it mostly answers questions you already kind of knew, like with the players, or like I kind of see these things. You know, this is the bond that's been made over here, and then you see it in real life. Like, oh, they picked me over cutting their rope. Like, clearly, they're more important to them.
Because they like right in the beginning, they ganged up on Sean. He was gone in 2 moves.
Sean and V.
Yeah, but again, it does. You know, it is the first blending I can think of the game and the challenges. Like it's sort of blending the two a little bit more rather than keeping them as separate elements, which is kind of cool to see. Another immunity challenge. Well, not immunity. I think this was a reward. Flying kites. Just let's go out there, build a kite. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's have a nice chill day. You got issues?
I hate kites.
Why?
What?
How can you? What? I hate kites. I just
you
don't.
Hate joy?
I just don't
they're made
like
for
them.
fun.
What about them? Is it a phobia,
I have this,
or
like,
is it just a dislike?
This like hazy memory of being at a park with my family. We're flying kites. I don't even really remember what happened. I just remembered that I didn't like it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So
you are wound up right now.
I wrote down I hate kites.
Just as a concept, that's so wild to me.
I just don't like them.
Okay. So I'm at the park with my mom.
My whole family was there.
Okay,
my brothers were there.
My whole family's there. We're flying kites. Right? All of a sudden, out of nowhere, this homeless man runs up to us.
There's no homeless man.
There's no homeless. Well, you don't know what the traumatic
this is his
thing
fan fiction.
Yeah, I'm doing fan fiction about you. I can take liberties.
All right, well then start over.
Well, no, I'm saying you didn't give me a traumatic event to go off.
I know there was no homeless man.
Okay. Well, all right. Anyway,
there's no homeless people in Connecticut. Is what you're saying.
You know what?
There were no homeless people.
Here's the
thing.
Jesus,
we were
the privilege.
Yeah, I mean, come on. We had a massive.
This guy.
Your privilege is showing.
We had a Hogwarts-esque private school in my town.
Yeah, no magic though.
No magic though.
And it was
not
filled
magic.
with just Hufflepuffs.
It definitely was.
Connecticut
No,
as a
it was
state
filled
is
with-
an entire state filled with Hufflepuffs.
It
I'll
was
take
filled
that
with
stance.
Slytherins. It was just
really?
they were monster people. They were
is-
garbage.
it is in New
Monster
England.
people.
They weren't necessarily from New England. They would get shipped in.
Oh. Interesting.
It was a private school.
What an interesting dynamic of the Connecticut Hogwarts school.
They filmed what movie? That Martin Lawrence and Raven Simone movie, College Road Trip.
Oh, we're all familiar,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Remember that movie?
Big fans here.
They filmed.
No!
Yeah, no.
Who remembers that movie?
Number Crunch Me College Road Trip, please. You're the number crunch guy.
It feels like your way of getting back. It's like, I don't even need to know anything. I just want to make you look
I just
something
want to
up.
make you look it up.
Well,
my
why
job.
don't you educate yourself, Number
The
Cruncher?
2008 film, 12%
Ooh, that's-
Rotten Tomatoes,
It was
College
bad.
Road Trip.
12%.
It was bad. But
12%.
they filmed it at this private school because the school, which is just a high school, looks so much like Yale that they were like, yeah, this is Yale.
Oh, so they made it look like it was Yale.
All of New England looks like Yale.
Good point.
Represent.
Excellent point.
It truly does. Speaking of New England,
Yeah.
Boston Rob, baby, comes in wearing that Patriot
New England hat.
I should be wearing my other, because I am wearing a Patriot hat right now.
It's a throwback cap.
I should be wearing the other hat, which matches his. Disappointed, but that's all right.
We'll move on.
The thing that gets him the most riled up is the Patriot hat choice.
That and kites, apparently.
Right.
Yeah, kites. I do not understand.
I don't like 'em.
You probably would have a much different experience if you won some Snickers and ice cold Sierra Mist at the end.
I did write down, though, that Snickers, their best reward prize ever. I'd say so.
You are a Snickers boy, candy wise.
My-
Big fan of Snickers.
Yeah, one of my favorites.
What ideally, like, if you go out there and they're like, we've got a candy bar for
Take
you.
fives.
This is what you want. Take fives
Reese's
is your ideal?
Take Fives.
Okay.
Huge.
What about you,
Huge.
Zach?
Sorry, what's the question?
If
I was thinking
Jeff
about
is
Snickers.
like, we got candy, right? What kind
We
of
got
candy do you
candy.
want him to have there as a reward? What would you like to win?
I want sour gummy worms.
Ooh,
Yeah.
sour
like at the
gummy
reunion
worms.
when Rosie O'Donnell feeds them.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then they
When
would
they feed themselves, Rosie doesn't like shove them down their throats.
She would for Colby Donaldson, though.
She would.
I would request that I get sour gummy worms and that they're hand fed to me by Rosie O'Donnell. Otherwise, I leave the show.
Jeff can make that happen.
I'm gone.
Oh man, can you imagine? Like, you're like, I want Rosie O'Donnell to feed it, and then Jeff says,
Come on in, guys.
and Rosie walks out
It's
with a bag full of gummy worms.
I don't when he's so in my head I have this I'm reading the bit that you're setting up.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, when he says come on in, guys, in my head it's like 7 different Rosie O'Donnells sprinting onto the beach, gummy worms in
She's
hand,
always at an 11.
like that's
so
what I
she's
yeah
full sprint.
all
towards
wearing
you.
that same red shirt that are like extra large that
Hair
iconic,
bobbing in the
yeah.
wind.
And
Yeah.
I don't know why, but that's what I saw when I heard the soundbite.
Also,
And-
as much
Oh my
as Kathy grows on you this season, I think Rosie grows on you in the finale. She has such
Yeah.
a short arc. Like, at first you're like, you're
yeah,
doing
y'all
way
be
too
like
much.
shitting on her. I'm like, I think she's pretty good. Like, I'm feeling this.
She comes in really, really hot.
She comes in at a 12. and
She's
only-
riding on the back of a motorcycle that Colby's driving.
Yeah.
She's like got her arms around him.
Yeah.
She's loving it. Well, I mean, my adrenaline would be at a 12. I get it.
Here's
and
the
then
thing,
instantly launches into a song.
Yeah.
Right? So immediately, if you're like, whoo, yeah, it's a lot to deal with right off the bat. But by the end of the finale,
Yeah.
you come around to it.
Subaru! Subaru's the best!
It was a Saturn.
Saturn's the best! Not great with the names.
She rides in at a 12 and only dials it down to a 10 and a half.
Yeah.
She's always over 10. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you love to see it. Like, that's what I was saying.
Compared
is
to what we
Compared to
had,
Bryant Gumbel, ugh.
Brian Gumble, like.
but compared to what we'll get,
Rest in peace to the dead. He's not dead, but this is for when he is. He's not good at handling the energy that a Survivor crowd needs. Rosie O'Donnell has the energy that a Survivor fan crowd needs. I said it. Yeah. Andrew said she's coming in hot. I'm like, you know what? I'm a fanatic. I want the energy of another fanatic.
It's the monster talking.
I finished the monster a while ago, maybe. All right,
we can tell
You're in a Rosie O'Donnell.
That's what I'm saying. Right we talk about Rosie O'Donnell for 1 second, and I'm off my rocker right now.
Off his rocker.
Good Lord, someone put me in my place.
The challenge that they brought back this season that I thought was interesting. They love this one, but this seems to be the most biased of all the ones they've done. They had that ship captain rate their SOS thing. Yeah. And it's been different from the other ones because the other ones have been like, we got this military helicopter guy to be like, this is what we're looking for, color, movement, like stuff like that. They get this French boat captain, and he comes in, and there's a really nice thing set up by Boston Rob and Sean, and like it's very nice. And he goes, I do not like it. And then they're like,
dare I say, les petites stinky.
He's like, it's shit, it's bullshit, I do not like. And so they like drive the boat to the next island, right? And in my opinion, what they had going on, not as good. Like, they had, like, a raft with some red stuff on it or whatever. And he's like, oh, I like the color. Or there's the American flag. He was like, the flag. And, like, gives it to him. And also, they don't even give it to him. Jeff just chucks the idol overboard, and they have to swim out and get it.
He does you want it? Come get it.
But, I mean, how would you like your immunity to be in the hands of this, like, snobby French boat captain who's just like, I don't like it.
It's like, no good.
I don't want to go home because some French guy decided it. I want to go home because my game is faulty, you know? Anyway.
American culture is so passé, but I like the flag either way.
But the
Give
flag,
them the award.
It's a colorful, it's bright, I don't care, give it to them.
It's red, white, and blue like the France. Yeah. We were on the same vibe there, except I was doing a French accent.
Same colors, wrong flag.
I would have put the stripes vertically and then in threes, but no, that's not even French anymore.
Yeah. Do you have some baguettes?
There it is. Anytime I can feel an accent like slipping away, if it's my French one, if I feel it slipping away, I just channel my energy. I'm like, baguette.
Yeah, your key word is baguette.
I hit the baguette yesterday.
Yeah, you got to have that phrase that can launch you right back into it. Yeah.
Like Hugh Jackman.
Like when I'm trying to do Pascal's accent, I just say what.
Put the emphasis.
Yeah, there's an H before your W. I'm like, I never thought of the fact that I am a white man. Like,
I sound like the character from Malcolm in the Middle who has to like breathe between.
Yeah.
You have to. I like that Soulja Boy song. This right here is my pretty boy sweat.
He's really out of breath the whole time. Yeah. But yeah, a big season for accents. We talked about that too.
Huge.
A lot of accents.
Episode 1, you got Peter, you got Boston Rob, you got New York Rob.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jersey Rob.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm a limo driver.
Yeah.
That guy.
The general.
Hey, Johnny Pots and Pans.
Is that Johnny Pots and Pans I see over there?
Honestly, he's probably the one that came up with that.
Probably.
It just sounds like something to say.
He just like walked up to the fire. John was holding some pots and pans. He just walks up to him. They like stare at each other for a second. It's first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
And then the general's just like, Johnny Pots and Pans.
And then it's stuck.
Forever.
And from that point forward, he was known as
Johnny Pots and Pans.
Legend.
It does just sound like an urban legend.
Johnny Pots and Pans.
Like
Johnny. No, let me tell you the tale of Johnny Pots and Pans.
So. I was thinking like of like an urban legend of like your kid's like, I don't want to eat my vegetables, and it's like you gotta, or Johnny Pots and Pans is gonna come and get you.
They'll sneak in the night and bang pots and pans in here so you can't fall asleep.
Beat you over the head with
and then I'll ask you to pee on him.
I need someone to pee on me.
Yeah. Do you think that awakened anything in him?
What?
Do you think that awakened anything in him?
Are you
verbatim?
Are you taking the bit to the point where the children get peed on?
No.
By John? No? Okay.
No.
Okay, I thought you meant getting peed on would like awaken them in some way, like sexually.
I mean,
which
John
is pretty fucked
was
up.
peed on by Kathy, right? And so, do you think from that point forward, it maybe awakened something?
Like
Johnny Pots and Pans.
Johnny Pots and Pans is a little bit into
Johnny Piss and Pans.
Yeah.
John did say that he didn't need to have his hand under there the whole time,
but he kept it under.
He kept it
under. He says out of just being kind, but I think really he's into being peed on. Yeah,
he's into being peed on.
Also, that dude hurt himself like 3 times in that episode. Like 3 separate occasions. Got bitten by an eel, sea urchin, and then it was the general.
His pride got hurt when he had to get peed on.
Yeah,
so he did hurt 3 things.
He lost dignity as well.
Yeah.
John, honestly, they had to send him home. I'm surprised he didn't get himself killed.
Yeah,
for real.
But also, he's the one in charge when Pascal went down. They were like, "Hey, Johnny Pots and Pans, give us the update," and he's like, "Okay."
Did he say Johnny Pots and Pans?
Oh yeah.
I want to hear Jeff say Johnny Pots and Pans.
He's like, so here's the deal, right? Pascal went down, passed out, dehydrated. You can take it from me, Johnny Pots and Pans.
Johnny Pots and Pans. Okay.
Listen here. Okay. All right. Here's the dish. Here we go. Johnny Pots and Pans, dishing it out right now. That's me, Johnny Pots and Pans. Here's what happened. Pascal down. Johnny Pots and Pans up. We're going.
Okay.
Listen, everyone's focused on me. You good? Okay.
This story is more about him saving Pascal than Pascal going down.
Pascal used to be the family favorite. Now it's me, Johnny Pots and Pans, family favorite.
You can call the favorite. So.
I did it.
Why don't you just call me Dr. Pots and Pans?
I love that because he is
Dr.
He's a nurse.
Even more than imagine the same scenario instead of Sean walking in with his nipple ring clanging, right? John comes in with his like a revealed American belly button ring.
Crop top
He's got his crop
coat.
top on, crop top lab.
And he's like, "Hello, I'm going to be your physician today, Johnny Pots and Pans."
No,
Dr. Pots and Pans.
I'm Dr. Johnny Pots and Pans.
MD.
Johnny Pots and Pans, MD.
Dr. Johnny Pots and Pans, MD. That's the title of the episode.
I was going to say, we just found the title of the episode. You can't change my mind about that.
Sure, when you want it to be called that. Goodness.
I just love the idea of a very loose Survivor fan seeing that and being like, what the fuck are they talking about?
We're so off base right now.
A Survivor fan just being like, I'll give these guys a shot.
We just take the most unimportant detail of a season and just obsess over it. We're like, out of Africa, crazy, isn't it?
Crazy, isn't
What if they watch Madagascar? I brought it back up.
Wait, so do we like John? Or do we just love the fact that he is Johnny Pots and Pans? I can't really figure it out.
Here's the thing. I don't like John,
okay,
but I love Johnny Pots and Pans. I think there's a difference. Johnny Pots and Pans is the character, right? And you got to have an antagonist, someone to root against, and that's JohnnyTs and Pans.
And he's got 2 personalities. One is just John, the other one's Johnny Pots and Pans.
Every Gemini has 2 parts.
No, I'm sorry. He has 2 personalities. One is Johnny Pots and Pans. The other one is Dr. Johnny Pots and Pans, MD.
I think it would be Johnny Pots and Johnny Pans. It would be like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde.
Yeah.
No, it would be
Mr. Potts and Dr. Pans.
Oh my god.
I love how you both realized that at the same time.
Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. He drinks a concoction that turns into Dr. Potts. Or no, Dr. Pants.
Dr. Pants.
Excuse me. Oh my god.
Holy shit.
Anyway,
okay, so, let's move on from Johnny Pots and Pants for now.
Real quick,
and talk about...
Before we move on to our next topic, I think this is an ideal point for an ad read. Would y'all agree?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a good idea. If we're going to do an ad read, I'm going to go pee.
This season is brought to you by Ice Cold Sierra Mist. Do you like Sprite or 7-Up, but wish it was worse? Then try Ice Cold Sierra Mist. Sierra Mist, you're gonna fucking hate it. Alright, and we're back.
Do you like enjoying things like 70%?
Do you
Sierra Mist?
It's just not quite as good.
It's not as good anymore. This is another thing that apparently riles me up as much as kites.
What a season for your weird, specific things that get you riled up.
Sierra Mist is bad now. Sierra Mist was good. It was my preferred lemon lime soda.
When did the switch happen?
When did the switch happen, Zach?
Are you asking for a number crunch?
Sierra Mist number crunch.
So I actually did look this up. Let me read it really quick.
This is an ice cold number crunch.
This is an ice cold number crunch. Let's see. So the Sierra Mist logo was later redesigned again in March 2010. The typeface similar to one that the current Pepsi logo kind of had, and also at the same time it underwent a more significant rebranding in August 2012 in response to shifting consumer preference towards products made with natural ingredients, according to the industry. Yeah, so they switched to natural sugar on August 29th, 2010. It was then called Sierra Mist Natural.
Yeah.
And that's when it got bad.
Yeah. That just unlocked a portion of my brain. Yeah, when it became Sierra Mist Natural, it became garbage.
Wait, I'm sorry. Are you trying to make this healthier for me?
No, thank you.
You don't drink lemon lime soda to be a good person.
You drink it to get the burps out.
Yeah, I'm trying to get that McDonald's. Wait, what?
Yeah, right.
You drink it when your stomach
You drink it to get the burps out.
I need some Sierra Mist.
Have you never done that? You drink bubbly like lemon lime, like same as ginger ale.
7-Up was my go-to.
Yeah, helps you get the burps out.
But here's the thing:
free.
when you eat something and you're sick, then you associate it with being sick. So like, it's hard to enjoy the same thing.
It's true.
In an everyday.
That's true.
But that's why you.
I've never reached for a ginger ale.
Oh, okay.
I'd never reach for a ginger ale.
Never.
Ever.
Ginger ale is only really
to you.
Yeah.
Wow, that's privilege.
I would never reach for a ginger ale.
I bet you're really used to having things handed to you, Andrew. Like championships. So post-merge, when things start to like kind of really pick up, especially after like Rob like laying that information saying like, hey, to Kathy, like, hey, they're gonna turn on you, and when Kathy like approaches them, you know, and Zoe's like very clearly like lying because she's an awful liar and awful at the game of Survivor.
Hot take here on Zoe.
I'm also not a fan of Zoe. So
two hot takes here on Zoe.
How do you feel about Zoe?
She's from Maine. She looks like she's from Maine.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're pissing off a whole state of Maine.
Fuck
yeah.
Maine.
Who is our demographic for this podcast? Is
Not
it like
Maine.
one person in Chicago?
My mom. Hey, Mom.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the demographic is the three of us.
Yeah. That's fair.
And my mom.
I think Zoe's fine.
Yeah. But that wasn't really my point. Yeah, Zoe's insignificant as far as this game goes, in my opinion. She was just a number. But that, hey, listen.
That's it.
These are facts. She was a number for John. Yeah.
Spoken like a game bot. Yikes.
She's a goat.
But like a word that started to appear for the first time very heavily was the word liar. It kept coming up, saying like Zoe saying, "Oh no, they're lying," and then Kathy being like, "No, you're lying," and it just like really started to stir the paranoia. And like I remember seeing in that moment like Kathy kind of like working everything, and just like she's like spouting out, "Here's what this could happen if this, that," and it really showed me, I think for the first time in watching these early seasons, like paranoia like really taking over somebody. Yeah. Because obviously I'm sure in those first 3 seasons, like Ethan mentions, like, you know, you're constantly thinking about the game. But this is the first time I see it kind of like starting to rattle somebody, you know? Yeah. Like Kathy's so like, she feels like everyone's after her, she doesn't know what to do. When in reality, she's not really the biggest target, Boston Rob is, right? So it's just like, it's cool to see like that part start, because we're going to get into this like area where paranoia, I mean, that's almost the rest of the game. Paranoia is just like the root of every decision. Yeah. You know? Yeah, that's true. So it's cool to see it like kind of festering there. Like, not festering, like kind of like stewing up a little bit, right? Yeah. Because it's at a 1 right now. It's about to get it at a 10. Yeah. Well, not next season. Yeah. Not Thailand. Oh, no, that's not what I meant about. But yeah, not next season, but I'm by All Stars around there. It starts to really like control the game. I feel like, just to prep you, like we're about to take a big step back. Like we've been growing pretty consistently, like each season getting better and better and better, and then Thailand is like a big old dump. Right in the like, you step in it and you're like, oh man, we were going like this was such a lovely walk. All right, so we'll see. Yeah. I mean, we're here. We're doing it. Yeah. We got quarantine. I don't remember Thailand being that bad. Okay. We're going to see. I got one heaping pile of doo-doo, and I got one. It's not that bad. Okay. So, we're going to see. We're going to see. I guess, yeah. Tune in next episode, right? Mm-hmm. Stay tuned. But don't go anywhere yet. We're still here. Yeah. So, back to the Marqueses. To jump off the Zoe thing for a second. At one point,
in episode 10, Tammy is like, hey guys, how is no one realizing that Zoe is fake? She's very false. How is no one seeing this? Boston Rob said that like 4 episodes earlier.
Yeah.
So it just goes to show you how like far ahead he was in this game. He was always thinking about it, and it took them like 4 episodes later to figure it out.
Yeah.
Things that he was saying.
Well, that's the thing is, I think we talked a little bit about it last episode, where you can be playing on a level that the game is not on yet.
Mm-hmm.
Like when it comes to the merge, right, which is like a whole range of possibilities opens up for Boston Rob. He's like, okay, I need to expose to Kathy that Zoe's lying, right? But he pushes so hard that like everybody pushes back. It's almost like it's that scene in like Back to the Future where he's like, you're not ready for that, but your kids are gonna love it. Like that's kind of what's happening. Like Boston Rob pushes so hard, everybody's like, nah, we're gonna go back to like no drama, right?
Yeah.
But the things he was saying is still fundamentally true, and they just haven't caught up yet.
Yeah.
But that's why I think that this season ends so strong, is because Boston Rob comes in and just like goes crazy and like blows the game wide open, and then they're all like, okay, we got to start playing now. And like it takes people a few episodes to catch up, but like I think that speaks to like Boston Rob is like one of the first people that's like a game player, like right off the bat. Like getting rid of Hunter is such a shocking move.
Yeah.
Like that, you know what I mean? Like first time I saw that, it was so unexpected because people play so much like we got to keep the tribe strong at this point in the game. You know, whole seasons are played that way. And then to send Hunter home just because he's not loyal to you is such a, like, alpha thing.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
He's always played the game the same.
Yeah.
Like,
you're either on his
the
side
game adapted to him, almost.
Almost. That's crazy. So.
Legend.
You guys would get along a lot.
Yeah, we would. We would talk about a lot of things.
Yeah. If only we could get the two of you in the same room sometime.
If only we could.
That's crazy that you mentioned that, because I actually I had called some people I know.
What?
Yeah, and believe it or not, in the midst of pandemic, I've scheduled Boston Rob to come to the studio today.
No.
Wait, he's coming here?
way.
It's not a Zoom interview?
Oh,
he's coming
not
here?
Not only is he coming here wearing a mask, of course, and gloves.
Okay.
And staying 6 feet away from us, I
Yes.
hope.
Of course. But he's here right now.
Oh.
But here's the really awkward part. I have to go take this call.
What?
Oh,
can
yeah.
you just like reschedule? What kind
No,
of call
I
is this?
absolutely cannot. This is my mommy. I have to go talk to my mommy. So I'm going to go.
That's fine. You did miss Mother's Day yesterday.
I did not call my mom on Mother's Day.
You are a terrible son.
This is also not true that I would never do that. I love my mommy.
I was there. He called her.
But I'm gonna go call my mom. So you guys hold it down.
Okay.
Tell Boston Rob to say
He's
hi.
coming here
He's
right
just
now.
gonna come up?
Yeah, it's really crazy, the coincidence of the timing here that I have to go as he shows up. But it is how it is. So
Yeah, what can you do?
All right, I'll be right back, guys.
We'll tell him you said
Okay.
you
Yeah,
want
thanks. Sound of door opening. Sound of door closing.
We'll add that in post.
Oh, hey,
Yeah.
Rob. Sound of door opening.
Oh, Rob!
What's going on, guys?
Rob, come on in, guys!
Shit, man.
Wow, you
Well,
got nice digs we got here.
I gotta be honest, I thought Zach was kind of screwing with us.
I thought he was bullshitting us, man.
Yeah,
this is real
here in the
Boston
flesh.
Rob.
It's me. What
How
can
you
I
doing,
say?
man?
Robert Mariano himself.
How you know? I'm chilling.
I would shake your hand, but you know.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to shake both of you guys' hands, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta ask, how's quarantine treating you, Rob?
It's
Is
good.
it, I'm sorry, excuse me, before I don't mean to cut you off. I'm a huge fan. I'm sorry.
Please call
Do
me
I-
Boston
Is
Rob.
it Boston?
Yeah.
Do I call you Mr.
Mr. Boston.
You could call me Boston Rob.
Boston
yes.
Rob? Okay. Boston Rob, how's quarantine treating you? How's Amber? How are the kids?
It's good. The kids are good. All of my kids that have the same middle name of a rose.
I think that's
Do
very
they?
cute. That's very
Yeah,
New
it's
England of you.
beautiful.
You picked a theme.
Yeah, you know. So we've just been cooped up in.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Boston Rob, it's okay.
Yeah, you know, we just been cooped up in the house and been playing lots of games. Been recording a lot of cameos.
Ooh,
And
probably making a pretty penny off those cameos right now.
Well, you know,
Yeah, but what do you charge for one of those?
we're having a sale right now. It's so it's 20% off.
20% off. Ooh.
What's the occasion?
Just because of quarantine, you know, people
Oh,
are
okay.
having a hard time.
Yeah,
paying
coronavirus.
for things.
And he's got time to crank those bad boys out. Am I right?
Yeah, I'm also doing a Winners at War special. So if you are a winner of any war,
so is this
you
like
can prove it to me, I'll give you a free cameo.
Is this like a veterans discount kind of? What if someone lost the war? Yeah,
it depends on the war.
So if you're a Nazi, obviously you don't get one, right?
The Allied forces.
Listen, there's all kinds of wars. There's world wars. There's wars within your heart.
There's cupcake wars.
There's cupcake wars.
If you have won a legitimate war or cupcake wars,
it's a war.
I will count them the same.
Yeah,
Both of those have the same merit.
So if you've won cupcake wars, you are entitled to a free cameo from Boston.
Wow.
So I've been doing a lot of that. Amber's been doing Amber things.
Amber things.
Like
yeah,
we're waiting.
Yeah, being a mom. And
being a Survivor winner,
former Survivor winner, and
so she
being the best mom in the whole world.
World. What'd you guys do for Mother's Day?
We
catching Buster off his toes here.
I wasn't ready for such personal questions.
No, it's okay.
This is an interview.
We didn't send these to you.
If I wasn't actually Boston Rob, I would probably be having a hard time answering these questions.
That'd be weird, right?
But
luckily,
because
you're Boston Rob, you probably have an answer for this.
I know everything. So
it was only yesterday.
We walked out to the park, and
Parks aren't closed in Massachusetts?
They're open right now.
Wow.
Yes, it's just a small field by me.
You guys had masks on
and
there,
I brought, of course, I had all the girls in their Survivor buffs as masks, which is not as effective as a regular mask. I know this, but in the spirit of me being a Survivor contestant,
you might as well.
Yeah. So, and we played Survivor.
Ooh,
I won.
Of course you did. You're Boston Rob. You're a legend.
Amber and I ran the table.
Obviously, so you voted out your own children.
We voted out our own children.
Any regrets there, or just gameplay, baby?
I need to ask. What was the pecking order?
We went from oldest to youngest.
You just simple, so
that's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair. So the people down the line, it's kind of like
I dominated every immunity. No,
I kicked their ass.
I kicked their asses.
Again, legend.
Yeah. Anyways, I came here, guys, to not talk about me, but talk about you guys a little bit. I heard you doing a podcast about Survivor, a show I've been on
a couple times.
What is it?
I've competed in 4 times.
You have so many you can't even remember.
And appeared once as a sneaky guy in a box.
That is your official title.
Yes.
It was Survivor Island of the sneaky boxes.
The sneaky man and lady in the boxes.
Sneaky box idols.
But so I heard you talking about Marquesas my first season. Do you guys have any questions about how I impacted the game?
Yeah.
I mean, I've got
up until I was voted out at the merge.
There was something I did notice. There was maybe like a little bit of tension, a little bit of beef between you and one of our personal favorite survivors,
Johnny Pots and Pans.
Johnny Pots and Pans.
Johnny Pots and Pans.
Still keep in touch with Johnny?
Yeah. Do you talk to him? Any contact since the?
We still talk. We got over everything, and it wasn't really that big of a deal. I understood where he was coming from. I left with a smile on my face, and I smile every day thinking about that morning when the general walked up to him at the fire and just looked at him and said, "You Johnny Pots and Pans," and we all just loved it.
Yeah. That was a real.
It
really brought us all together.
Would that be the highlight of your season? You think of Marquesas?
When I heard the general say Johnny Pots and Pans,
yeah,
absolutely. Nothing compares.
Oh, okay. Even just that season, or all of your Survivor run?
All of my Survivor
Wow,
career.
and you met your
That's
wife.
Yeah, that's right.
During Survivor. You would say the Johnny Pots and Pans thing even better than
the Johnny Pots and Pans thing is number one.
Absolutely, and I love Amber more than anything in the world.
It speaks more.
And
to
I wouldn't have come out to play Redemption Island if Amber didn't tell me to come out and play.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. You're very passionate.
That's okay. Feel free to be emotional.
It's been an emotional day. That might be why my accent doesn't sound like a Boston one sometimes.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's perfect.
Normal.
Yeah. Well, it's okay. It's a tough accent to do. But we really do appreciate you, Boston Rob.
Yeah, I think we got time for one more question.
Yeah, I actually have Amber waiting out in the car.
Oh, she's here. Yeah. She's in the car.
She's here, but she has the kids because we decided to take a road trip
because we were bored. Did you crack the window and put a little music on for her? Or is she just...
Amber's a human adult. She can do that.
Okay.
Yeah, Jack, come on.
Are you trying to say my wife is an infant?
Come on, Jack.
My wife, a former winner of Survivor. Survivor.
Somebody might break the window of your car and try and turn on the AC if she looks hot.
Well, she always looks hot. He gets it. All right, one last question.
She's out in the car with the kids.
One last question before we get you out there.
All right, yeah, because I gotta go.
I gotta know. You still talking to Sarah? You still keep in touch? What's up?
All right, this stays just between us, right?
Yeah, obviously we'll cut this out.
Okay.
Amber's in the car.
Well, Amber's in the car, and so Sarah and I don't really talk that much, but every now and then I'll FaceTime her and ask her if she can show me her boobs.
Oh,
yeah. And she always, every time, she says no. But she still answers my calls. Anyways, it's good to be here, guys.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Really big for us.
All right. If I see Zach on the way, I'll tell him to come in.
Okay.
Yeah, just tell him to come back up. We miss him. Sorry, missed you.
Okay.
This was great. I gotta say.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you guys just want me to leave like this?
Yeah. Just, the way you
don't want to hang out anymore?
No.
Okay.
No, we're kind of booked. We're doing a podcast, actually.
Yeah, we got...
Oh, yeah, right. Okay. Best of luck with the podcast. You guys want to hang out?
Yeah, okay. We'll see you later, Rob.
Sound door closing.
He's a sensitive dude.
Wow, that was a great interview, though.
It was, but
I can't.
Yeah, you don't.
I can't believe Zach missed it.
Sound door opening. Sound door closing. Hey guys, I'm back.
Hey, bud.
Hey,
Did Rob already show up? Or?
Yeah, he came and left, dude.
Well, that's crazy. I mean, I remember seeing him on the stairs because I said, "Hey, Rob." So I knew he was here.
I gotta know that. How's your mom?
She's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's still doing good.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's get back to it.
Okay.
I love my mommy. Man, no, you guys, I'm jealous you got to meet Rob and everything, but it was important that I go and chat with my mom.
No, don't worry. I'm sure we'll have on other big Survivor names.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Knowing us, we can get anybody.
We can get anybody. We just got episode 4. We just got Boston Rob.
And I got my people. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that is a big pull. So.
Yeah.
That
was wonderful.
On that. Yeah, I'm just sad you couldn't,
I wish you could have stayed around longer.
It is what it is. I still have the cameo that you got me for Christmas.
That's true, yeah.
So I'll go watch that and pretend that I was with him.
I had so many other questions for him.
Yeah.
Just wish you could have stayed around longer.
He said Amber was in the car.
Yeah, Amber was in the car.
He seemed tired. He seemed like he was running out of steam.
They did just drive here from Massachusetts, so.
It's just a weird time for a road trip.
Yeah.
But I mean, for us, he did it. Honored.
Yeah, honestly. Wow. And with Winners at War going on and everything.
Wow.
I know.
to pivot hard.
Which no one wants us to do right now.
Yeah, no,
probably.
They want this to drive as far as we can go.
More of this. We got our first rock draw. Really big moment in the finale. What do you think
ever.
about it? Yeah. Because prior to this, again, we talked about it. The rules have been a little bit wonky of in a tie situation, what happens, previous votes, if that doesn't work, trivia. This one's pretty clean cut.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this one's hey, if you can't pick...
Person with immunity is immune, everybody else can go home.
I loved how when they were talking about it being a tie, there was something about I'll take the trivia questions. And then Jeff's well, I'm not so sure that we all know how a tiebreaker works. Because he in the back of his head, he knows. He's I know we changed it this year, so...
He's so ready for it.
This was the year of changing up rules a little bit. You could give immunity to whoever you wanted. Went to rock draw.
Which, I love the fact he still asks.
But
I know in the seasons moving forward, there are some where every single thing he's do you want to give it up? And they're nah.
Yeah, no,
every time. Because,
it just feels too good around my neck right now. I'm going to have to hold on to it, though. Thanks, Steph.
Yeah, we're going to get real familiar with that answer right there. But first rock draw, and I mean, could not be more ironic in the fact that the first time they do it, someone who was not at risk of going home goes home.
Is the person who goes.
Pascal, who going into the finale, was your bet to win it all. You said it was either Kathy or Pascal, and Pascal went with the rock draw.
Yeah. And, like, I should have changed my vote to Kathy way before I did.
Yeah.
But that's besides the point.
But Pappy was a likable guy.
Pappy's a likable guy.
Pappy could have won if he won. I think Pappy beats Nilly and Vesepia.
Yeah.
Just purely because of personal relationships on the jury. I think a lot of people would have voted him.
And that sweet brother accent.
Ooh,
right?
Could I please get your votes?
Yeah, can you imagine some of it? It's like, you guys, like all those salty jury questions that we got, that's like, oh, you guys said you didn't lie, but you're hypocrites. He'd be like, well, I'd never. And they're like, I trust you.
Never. And then be like, all right, fine.
Yeah.
Got my vote.
Yeah.
Well, not in a million years.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got stopped.
We did have a really weirdly salty jury.
Yeah, they were.
Like, strangely. Like, I don't know in the past seasons, but it felt like most people were salty.
Yeah. Well, I think it's the first time you're seeing, like, betrayals of any sort.
Yeah.
Because I think Tribal Lines is such a big deal in the first 3 seasons. And it was crossed a lot because of the tribe swap, mostly. But, like, I think that had people feeling a little more sour than they ever expected to.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people were like, we're going to remain tight until the end. Until, like, we have to start voting each other out, or if it doesn't work out for us. But that didn't happen. And I think, like, obviously people like your girl, whose name I don't remember.
Tammy?
Annie.
Yeah. I mean, that was something I was going to bring up, is that, like, Tammy said something that was very interesting to me, that was like, you said you were happy with a seat on the jury. You should have taken your jury seat and not played the game. And as much as, like, Tammy had some moments I appreciated in this, that is just a trash-ass take.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, you should have just enjoyed your seat on the jury. You shouldn't have tried to win. And I guess the game is more in a point where, like, when you make a Final 6 deal or something, like, it's understood somebody's going to come in 6, right? And if it's you just got to do it, right? But I think moving forward, that opinion, it's very clear how little weight it holds right now. Because, no, you're not going to be satisfied with, like, 6th or 7th. Come on. You're going to play the game. Yeah. It's like, I didn't want you to start playing until it was too late for you to actually get the numbers. That's kind of what it reeked of.
Yeah, I was not into that, personally.
But otherwise, I mean, Tammy with, like, her banshee scream after she wins that immunity, like...
Yeah.
Ugh.
It's a great moment.
So weird. The banshee scream.
I'll say it, babe of the season.
I get it. She was hyped to win an immunity and probably needed it, but it was just like, man.
It was so over the top.
Yeah, it felt a lot like what's her name from Big Brother?
God. Natalie.
Yeah, fucking Natalie.
Oh, yeah.
I did it by sticking to my word.
Exactly. It was a sticking to my word moment.
Yeah.
And it just like it.
This one's for you, Sheba.
Right, Sheba. This one's for you, Sheba Inu picture on the internet that I found that made me laugh a long time ago.
Yeah.
But like it felt like that. It was like I want to root for you and cheer for you in this moment, but you're making me so cringe.
Yeah. No, I get it. And it was a cringe. Again, Johnny Pots and Pans.
Johnny Pots and Pans.
We all know him.
You knew me for 24 days or whatever he said.
It's me.
Like, yeah.
Rosie's song at the end.
A lot of cringe.
There were some cringe moments. Not as much as...
Take back what you said about Rosie.
You're right. You are
not
correct.
be having
But-
any
but
Rosie
I think
O'Donnell disrespect on this podcast.
The interesting thing about this, there wasn't like one character with the most cringe. There was a lot of evenly distributed cringe, right? Gabe had some cringe.
Episode
Kathy
12.
had some cringe, like evenly distributed cringe. It just like
It's a good band name.
yeah,
Right?
a lot of people had. Even Pappy had his thing where like he was just like, I understand this is contextualized by what this is 2001, 2002, 2002. Like the race stuff. When this gets brought up, Pappy just handles it like with not a lot of tact. But so
rough.
there's like every single person has a little bit of cringe.
Yeah.
So it's spread out. Even
Yeah.
Boston Rob had his moment where he said some insensitive stuff. So. Yeah.
It's just like,
And the
are
general,
you gay?
the general is like, honestly, the general might be the cringiest if we had to narrow one down. Because, well, I mean, in his like,
It'll look so good in that button.
well, in his like, they still do the like, what are you gonna ask at the jury? And he's like, I'm a little bit disappointed that a woman's gonna win this game. Would have preferred to be a dude. But
I love dudes.
Yeah, I just love all dudes.
Just love guys being
guy.
dudes.
Yeah.
I like when they're strong. Like when they're not strong.
Doesn't matter.
I love dudes.
I like when
Love
they're
a
short.
man.
I like when they're tall. I like when they have big feet. I like when they got
Yeah.
small feet. Doesn't
Listen,
matter.
they got a
general
hairy
like
chest.
dudes and that's
that doesn't
that.
hurt.
Alright.
Imagine it was his belly button ring.
This is the general's belly button ring.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Oh man. It's like, yes, that is. That's my belly
correct.
button.
I can't believe no one ever noticed it.
Y'all didn't want to ask me anything about my belly button ring. But yeah, a lot of accents.
A lot of accents.
Big season for it.
Fun season for your ears.
Episode title. No,
We're really cranking out episode titles
fun
today.
season for your ears. I don't know if I like that one as evenly
No,
distributed
no.
cringe, but
Yeah. And with that, I think it's time for another ad read. This season is brought to you by God. We love you, God. Jesus Christ!
Love you, God. This was a
turned down.
shout out.
God played a big hand in this
God
season.
was
God
important
was
this season.
a big factor.
a lot of influence on a lot of players.
You know what? When Christ is Lord,
Praise be.
That face when Christ is Lord. We were talking about it going into, it was the finals, like 6, right? Final 5. All of them were outspokenly like religious.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So no matter who won, God won, right? Jesus
but doesn't
Christ,
God kind of always win?
It's like an upwards game. Jesus always comes out on top.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
He's always holding all the cards.
Jesus is the true soul survivor. This is a youth pastor, but the true Johnny Pots and all you have to do is open up your heart and let Johnny Pots and Pans in. That feels like a Jesus nickname.
Jesus Pots and Pans.
Jesus Pots and Pans.
It's me, Jesse Pots and Pans.
So I think it's time in the episode for a listy boy. You got something for us?
Listy boy! Yeah, top 3 time?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, I think it would be fun for each of us to talk about our favorite Kathy moment.
That was favorite Kathy moment.
Let's go.
Yeah, favorite.
Sorry, I was
Kathy
trying to
moment.
make it seem really exciting, but
Well, I don't. It's impossible to say the name Kathy with the force required to really hype it up.
Kathy,
That's pretty good.
It's time for the Kathy moment of the season, brought to you by God.
All right, so best Kathy moments.
Best Kathy moment,
go?
or your favorite Kathy moment?
I'll go first.
Just the time you enjoyed watching Kathy.
Yeah,
I gotta say, Kathy was top notch all season, but I mean, her obvious number one moment coming in clutch, bending down, squatting over,
What?
and pissing on Johnny Pots and Pans' hands.
Johnny Pots and Hands.
Johnny Pots and Pans' hands.
It's like
That was-
it's like Edward Scissorhands. His hands are just
Pots and Pans.
That makes it real hard to operate on people in the hospital. It's just clunking around.
But yeah, that's my.
You gotta pee on one of my pots.
You gotta-
It's really fucked up.
Can you be on my pan?
Can you pee on my pan?
I need someone to be on my pan. Yeah, that's the best moment for me because she was just like
She was ready.
running down, ready to do it.
Yeah.
You know what? The 2 most iconic hand moments in all of Survivor.
Hands burnt off.
Hands burnt off and hands peed on. Wow.
Hands have taken a beating.
Yeah,
Yeah,
hands are really
hands are
going
rough.
through it.
Yeah. Like,
Bad couple seasons for hands.
yeah,
Man.
they've had a really.
I honestly though, I mean, I can't think of another like big hand moment. This is a big season for hands.
Yeah.
One gets peed on. No, but I mean like that's kind of funny, right? Like it's 2 very like different silly things,
Yeah.
but like that's such an early Survivor injury.
Top 3 hands moments. You know?
It's a big moment for hands.
Big moment
Yeah.
for hands.
We're always on the
Hands are
lookout
really
for
having a
hand
moment.
moments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
This is the season of the hand. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry about that one. I'm sorry.
My top 3 moment for Kathy would be when she's just throwing back some Coors Light with Boston Rob during that merge feast. Like, this makes me miss that, like, you're going to send a representative, you're going to meet up and, like, talk strategy and stuff, because, like, you know, they got to throw back some beers, they got to eat pizza, they got, like, they undressed and slept in the same bed, and it was just like a fun pal moment. And again, I think it's kind of what spurred Kathy's game and character growth. So it was one of my favorite moments.
And let me say, they really put him back.
Yeah,
they were crushing those Coors Lights.
They were knocking them down.
Yeah, we should have asked Boston Rob about that when he was here. About you know, what is
we'll get him back someday.
Is he a Coors guy? You know? Oh yeah, that's true. We got plenty of time. Boston Rob. Well, if we got him, I
might be able to get him back.
Okay,
we'll see.
Cool.
My favorite Kathy moment was when she won the family visit, her son got to come back to the beach with her. It was funny because it was like sort of cringy, but it just reminded me of like my parents in a way, because Kathy was just like very like mom, you know, like
she was excited to see him,
you know. She was like kind of bragging about her son at the same time, kind of like making fun of him, you know, just like being like very,
they have a great relationship,
and like putting her arm around him, so she was just like poking fun at him, and it was nice, and it was kind of cool to see like everyone else see her kid kind of like revealed a bit more about her, and I think that they all liked her a bit more after. Just kind of
Only thing I took issue with though was she was like, I have a decision to make. What do I do? And the son was like, I don't like seeing you like this. I don't like you playing.
I don't like the side of you, Mom.
Like
she's got to play.
What's his name? Patrick?
Something like that.
Patrick. Come on, Patrick. Come on.
Yeah, that was a crazy moment though, because I mean, like her son, she's like, you know, he plays games or whatever. Like maybe he'll know, and even he kind of like couldn't really wrap his brain around like the morals of the game.
And again, I think that brings, you know, her personal development over the course of the season back to the forefront of like she has changed. She is starting to think more critically, and like I don't know, it seems like, you know, she is able to stand up for herself in a way that's not as abrasive as before. She's willing to play the game and do it under the radar rather than being in your face in the way that her tribe hated her for at the beginning. So you love to see the growth.
You do. You know what I realized? Just before we started doing that list, we have not talked a lot about Vesepia.
Yeah, no, we definitely should.
I feel bad because I really like Vesepia as a winner.
She's
I know
great.
She's not the flashiest winner that we've seen or we will see, but like I really like her as a player and as a person especially. I think she's very likable.
I also think it's understandable that she played a game that is easy to overlook. Yeah. Because that's how she wanted it, right? She was able to slide in and then work her way to the end.
But the way she slid in though is so good, because you could say like Pappy and Nalia slid in too, but they, you know, made a little bit more ruckus, whereas V was kind of like, she's always on like the right side of the vote. She was always chill with people. She never had any like confrontations or anything.
She feels kind of like a Tina in a way.
Yes,
like when you're thinking about the season, you think about the big names, the ones who make big moves, like Kathy, Boston Rob, like Sean. But like you don't think about Vesepia as much because she did play such a good social game.
Yeah,
and
she did. She really did.
She learned everything about everyone. She had that notebook.
Her luxury item was a notebook.
It won her a huge challenge.
A pivotal one.
Like to the point where she was like, I'm not going to tell them what I've been planning all season. I've been getting to know people strategically. She's like, it's not that I don't care, I just do care. And I know it'll help me.
And I think that's Vesepia's best like move that you can point to and be like, this is a move, right? Of like her bringing the notebook, keeping track of those personal stuff, winning an immunity when it got down to Final Four because she knew that is what had happened in the past, she was immune during the rock draw, and that's when Pappy went home.
Needed it.
So like that was a really pivotal moment. I would say I think the other biggest moment is when she started to distance herself from Boston Rob and Sean, because the two of them were kind of blowing up, right? And like tanking their games, and she was unwilling to like
she was in a great
her loyalties decide her fate.
She was in a spot where she's like, I'm gonna let this play out, and you know, whoever I think, like if I feel like Rob and Sean are going to pull the numbers, I'm going to go with them. But if not, I'm going to go with them.
Yeah, she was in a really great spot.
Exactly. The best part about that is no matter who she picked in the end, she was never going to be looked at as like the person who orchestrated this, right? She was never really a target in anyone's mind until it was just her and Sean.
Yeah.
That was the only time she was ever really a target. But at the same time, she was always playing with her back against the wall because she was always sort of at the bottom or in the minority alliance.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. And I think her biggest play, and something I respected so much about her, because she pulls the hatch move, but in such like a very, it's just the way she does it is so like, she does it with like this amount of confidence that I really...
Cutting a deal with Nalia?
Yeah, so right, okay, so it's sort of like the hatch thing where it's final three, everyone's got their hand on the pole, Kathy drops, and so instead of the ratch, he could be the ratch.
Yeah.
Instead of the hatch approach and pulling your hand off and then being like, hey, whoever wins, she waited until Kathy fell, the only like person that she really knew she had to beat, and she's just like, oh, yo, okay, like right away she's like, yo, Nalia, will you take me to the final two if I drop right now? Like she didn't hesitate. She like, I don't know, there's something about like knowing that because she says it in a way that she had been thinking about it, right? She had previously planned to do this if it came to that.
Yeah.
I love that. I mean, she was thinking one step ahead.
And she knew Kathy was the one to beat. So when Kathy went out, she was willing to cut that deal.
And another thing being like Nalia and Kathy having a relationship. So V's like, my only chance for her to take me is to like try to sort of form some sort of trust right away. Something that Nalia might feel bad going back on and might make her look bad.
Yeah.
So she's like, if I can make her give me her word right now, she's mine.
Yeah.
You know, and then that gives you that window to be like, hey, by the way, like Kathy's going to win this game. You got to take me for that reason too.
Yeah.
You know,
exactly.
I think it was just such a stellar move.
Yeah, no, it is a great move.
I really respect that out of her.
Yeah. Another thing worth asking about, you've done a little bit of number crunching on the side here. What is Vesepia's sign? And how do you think that the qualities associated with that could have helped, hurt, or just aided in her game?
Is this Zach's astrology corner time?
I think this is Zach's astrology corner.
Well, let me answer that question and kind of explain why we're even talking about that. Because a couple days ago, I got really bored because it's quarantine, and I decided to make a spreadsheet of every Survivor winner ever, and what their sign is, so that I could figure out what sign had won the most. And we can do that all a different time, but in this list, I found out the Vesepia's sign. And she is a Sagittarius.
Just like me.
Just like Andrew.
Spicy Sag.
Spicy Sag.
You know what they call us. Spicy Saggies.
Spicy Saggies.
What's the plural?
Sagi.
Sagittarius.
Sagi?
Saggies.
With a spicy Sagi.
Spicy Sagi.
Okay. Yeah.
And Vesepia is the only Sagittarius that's ever won, which I found interesting because every other sign has like at least 3 or more.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Oh, maybe that's actually not true. Don't quote me on that. It might be 2 or more. But yeah, so she's the only one. And I mean, I don't need to like get crazy into it, but Sagittarius are like pretty social. They're the sister sign of Gemini, so like there's a lot of like similarities there in that. I don't know. There's a way about our wit that kind of makes people, you know, attach themselves to us in a way, or like us or whatever.
That's why Jack likes us so much.
Yeah. So
yeah,
I don't know.
That's why.
I wasn't like totally analyzing that much, but I don't know. I think she had like a good way of just knowing when to say things and when not to. Can't tell you if that's really a Sagittarius
she avoided
trait.
Drama, you know what I mean? Like she multiple times was like, I can't deal with the drama, but at the same time, Sean was kind of her biggest ally. So yeah, I think that, you know, being able to, and the fact that she was able to distance herself from a tanking ship and have good enough social bonds with people of different alliances to work in wherever, right? Like that chameleon social game might, you know, be affected by the stars. That's who knows?
Exactly. I mean, again, I don't know that much about astrology, and honestly,
sure.
I don't know a lot about Sagittarius. I'm sorry, Andrew. They're one of the least interesting signs in my head.
Ooh.
Not just in my head.
It's okay, I'm hurt, but it's fine. It's okay.
I didn't explain that right. I meant it's one that I don't actively look for things.
A running
for.
tally of who we've offended this episode,
Yikes.
right? All of Connecticut.
Yep.
Maine.
Boston.
Maine, it was Maine.
Yeah.
We would never go after Connecticut
Maine
like
as well.
that.
We were making fun of both.
Connecticut.
So pretty
we were
much
making fun of Connecticut.
most of New England.
Oh yeah.
Sagittariuses. We've really cornered our market.
Yeah.
We're losing.
Well, I'm
they're
mostly
dropping like flies.
Attacking things that you love.
Yeah, it's...
or are apparently.
Yeah, that's part of the dynamic of this.
Can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Play that music for me.
The sad music?
Yeah.
I can clarify one thing really quick. I love Sagittarius. Sagittarii.
I think before we launch into the official island hunk and babe of the season, another thing we'd want to discuss is Sia's
biggest stinker?
Yeah, Sia's Le Petit Stink Boy. Who is Sia's little stinker?
I have not thought about this yet. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, another thing to consider, right? 2002, Sia is still 23? Is that what we said in the last episode? 23 years old?
Who?
Sia, at this point in time, is 23 years old.
Sure.
I think.
Let's say that.
Yeah.
Oh.
So,
she wouldn't like Gabe.
Wouldn't like Gabe? What's your reasoning?
Because Gabe was like, I'm not here to play. But Sia
is Sia's
there to
prerogative?
Play. Yeah, Sia loves the game.
Sia's a fan of the game.
Yeah, but she also is a good person, right? She gave Sia's first award to Ty, who is a much better person than he is a game player.
Okay.
But he's still a game player.
But he's playing the game hard. That's part of the reason we love Ty. Here's the thing.
Okay.
If Sia...
She's a humanitarian, is what I'm trying to say.
I agree.
There's no doubt that she probably likes Gabe.
And Gabe's trying to do Utopia. Yeah, sorry, Zach. Go ahead.
Such a stupid joke. I don't want to make it.
No. We've worked so hard towards it. We got to do it.
Okay. What's number one in Sia's book? Getting ready. All right?
Yeah, that's...
You know what she says? You better get ready. And you know who was never ready? Gabe. That's right. I'm talking about Gabe Cade. That's how you say his last name. C-A-D, Cade. Number crunched.
Okay.
Raise me a better candidate than Gabe.
I would say maybe Sia wouldn't like Patricia, right? Mommy. They didn't call her mommy. They called her mom. Mommy would be so weirder.
This is my mommy.
I don't want no mommy on my island.
They called her Mama.
Mama. That's what.
That was.
Didn't we joke that what it would be like if they called her mommy instead? Tonight I'm voting out my mommy.
Goodbye, mommy.
I love her, but she's not really adding much to the tribe.
Yeah. So I think, the attitude that they all had of, I'm 20, like Sarah especially. She was like, I'm 24 years old. I'm out here on the island. I don't want to deal with a mother-like figure, right? I think Patricia probably would have rubbed Sia the wrong way. And I think,
Yeah, I just don't think Patricia was around long enough for Sia to even grasp a concept of her.
Agreed. I think Tammy would be Sia's biggest stinker.
Okay. I was going to say potentially...
Johnny Pots and Pans.
No, she'd like Johnny Pots and Pans. I think she'd like Johnny Pots and Pans.
Okay. I think
Dr.
it's somebody
Potts
of the
and
road too
Mr.
far.
Pants?
You know what? Let's be honest. I think it's the general. I think the general may be Sia's
What do you
biggest
have
stinker.
against the general?
But here's the thing.
The
he's
women
a part,
comment? Yeah.
Yeah. He's a part of the Road to 4, which seems to be the antagonistic force of this season, right? We got to get the Road to 4 out. They're being cocky. They're like, this is the pecking order, right? It just seems to be that. And in my opinion, the general is the one who seems to be, again, a little bit misogynist, but also just, she would probably like Tammy, maybe Zoe. Both of them are very empowered.
Yeah.
But the general just seems to be taking Survivor back in terms of his ideologies, right? I don't want no woman to win this game.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I only like dudes.
Yeah, boys only.
All right.
Jersey shit.
I convinced you?
You convinced me.
Okay. So Sia's biggest little stinker is the general.
Sia's biggest little stinker is the general.
Yeah.
For a great car rate, you can get online. Go to the general and save some time. All right, thank you. You better get ready.
Only if you're a boy. I'm the general. No ladies.
Only
no insurance.
Let
Boy
in dudes.
insurance. Boy insurance by the general.
All right, Sia's big stinkers. Let's go, Babe and Buffy boy. What's the hunk?
Island Babe and hunk of the season. Who we got?
Island Buffy boy.
My pick.
Let's start with Babe.
My pick for Babe is Nalia.
Nalia.
Because I think she's very cute. She's charming. The Mormon things. She's that aside. She's very cute.
I think the Mormon
Welcome back to the Religion Podcast. What are you guys' thoughts on Mormonism?
I think,
and there goes the whole state of Utah. We've pissed off 3 states minimum.
2 religions. Fuck.
I think Nalia, when she smiles or laughs, she does this thing where her nose crunches up, and it's cute.
Okay,
it's real cute.
But this is a larger existential question of like what does babe mean to you? You know what I mean? Like Nalia, no doubt about it, she's a cutie, right? Mm-hmm. But I don't think she's a babe. A babe is a little bit more of like a woman, you know what I mean? And she's kind of like a girl. Do you feel me?
I mean, I understand your logic, but I'm still sticking to my guns here.
So by that, I would say, again, personal tastes, it's Tammy. I know she has that. A little girl can't do that banshee scream. You kidding me? That's a woman. That's an empowered woman.
Don't get me wrong. That's a pretty good impression.
Yeah, pretty good.
Don't get me wrong. I agree with you. Tammy's wonderful.
Yeah.
So I'm not, if Zach agrees, I will not be disappointed.
But I think we can kind of maybe reach... I want to hear your thoughts first, but I think a nice middle ground might be Gina. I think Gina, a nature guide, right? Like, she's maybe a little more on the Nalia side of the spectrum, but she's still definitely, she could be classified as a babe in my mind.
Zach,
how do you feel, Zach?
The deciding vote?
For Babe of the Season?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's kind of awkward because it's not either of your guys' choices.
Wow. Who is it?
So I just dropped my pen because I'm also about to drop a bomb on you. It's Boston Rob.
Oh! For the babe of the season?
Obviously, there's only one babe in my heart, and it's Boston. It's Massachusetts Bobby.
Okay, so it's clear this decision comes down to you and me, Andrew.
Yes.
No, I mean, if I have to pick between the two,
I mean, you don't. That's the thing. We got to come to a consensus.
Is it not?
I have
Kathy?
a controversial bombshell.
Okay, let's hear it.
I agree. It's Boston Rob.
It's Boston Rob. Boom.
We can't do it because he's gonna get hunk. We know he's gonna get hunk.
So,
¿Por qué no los dos?
Typical Boston Rob fans just not happy with one win.
Nope.
Can't just call it quits.
He needs another one.
He needs another one.
I'm saying it's either Kathy or Bob.
Kathy or Bob, those are your 2 options. I'd give it to Kathy.
Let's go, Kathy.
How do we feel about Kathy? This is a real third. I mean, she do be looking crazy at certain points.
She be looking crazy, but I love her. I'm fine.
Okay.
I've
decided.
I'd pipe behind.
Add a gavel sound effect.
Okay.
In post-production.
Yeah, I don't have it.
What do they say when they hit the thing? The court is adjourned or something?
The tribe has said something.
Tribe has spoken.
The tribe has said.
We could just say that
you.
the tribe has spoken. Let's go.
Okay, yeah. Let's
forget.
We'll get that next time.
If we, that's the future soundbite. I think that's a great idea. If we come to an agreement, boom.
Yeah,
future soundbite.
Tribe spoken.
Tribe spoken.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. I don't know how we haven't had that soundbite so far. Man, we really dropped the ball there. And by we, I mean
we're still growing.
Yeah, we're growing.
Yeah.
It's season 4.
We haven't even hit our all-stars.
Nice season. Babe?
Hunk?
Or hunk, pardon me.
Let's just
Let's on the
count of 3 just say it. 1,
all right, we're
2.
all thinking it. It's Gabe.
Yeah, it is. I think there's an argument to be made for Sean.
Yes.
I think you're correct, but I think you're wrong.
But yeah, I think it's probably Boston Rob.
New England Bobby.
All right, Massachusetts Robert.
Let's
Tribe
go.
has spoken.
The tribe has spoken.
All right, so there's our official hunks and babes for the season.
Mm-hmm.
We got Kathy and Boston Rob.
Appropriate because they both return.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I think we should wind it down now.
Yeah, I'm
I think
hungry.
it's I think it's... No, go ahead. I think it's time for our reviews of the season.
I was going to say, but before we do that, I'm just going to read out some number crunchies I did. Some fun trivia crunches. So this was the first time that we had the same gender final two. And also, obviously, the first time we've had two women as the final two. And the final three. Yeah. Which is huge.
The general hates that shit.
The general hates that shit. The general hates them. Generals hate them.
Yeah, he talks about himself in like third person a lot, so
women
I don't like it. The general doesn't like it.
They're never going to go back to Marquesas again because of the no-nos. Production stated. Yeah,
wonderful.
Yep, so Marquesas off the map.
Some might say it's a no-no.
It's a no-no.
It's a huge no-no.
Yeah. This is the final season we see the Reebok logo on a buff.
Ooh.
Which is kind of a bummer. Yeah, I really love the Reebok on there. I think it makes it look dope.
Read for it.
R.I.P. Reebok.
Yeah. We'll miss you, Reebok. Yeah. And then going back to the whole Marquesas thing, so they weren't actually supposed to shoot this in Marquesas. They were originally going to shoot it in the country of Jordan.
Which is where?
In the Middle East.
Yes.
Yeah, so they were going to call it Survivor Arabia.
Yeah.
So we were robbed of Survivor Arabia.
Wow.
And that's heartbreaking.
Yeah, there's an alternative or alternate universe where Boston Rob wins.
Survivor
Arabia.
Yeah. And then
Isn't that crazy?
And then he wins every season he plays again after that. Yeah. That's the timeline.
Which is every season.
That's the best timeline.
He wins 8 times. I just kept coming back because I couldn't lose it.
Couldn't stop.
Yeah. Those are quality number crunches.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. But I think it's time for us to wrap it up. And Andrew, as always, your coconut system gets to go first.
4.75 coconuts.
4.75 out of 5.
Out of 5 coconuts.
Wow.
I really loved this season. Challenges were great.
Wow.
We're getting some solid Jeff action. That cowboy hat that showed up several times.
Yeah, we did get a cowboy hat.
Boston Rob is amazing, and he's always been. The reason I docked it so much is because
0.25. That's so much.
Is because they got rid of Rob.
Rob wasn't.
I was
as
worried.
Much as you would want.
Yeah, that when they got rid of him, it was going to be terrible. But then the episode after that, where they flip the numbers in Blindside, is amazing.
Yeah, that was a really good episode.
It's the best episode so far.
Yeah, no doubt.
Episode 8, I think we all kind of made a note of it, of this is the episode. Although, that's saying something because they flew kites in that episode. So that's a big on you, man.
That's true. I just blocked that part out. But yeah, 4.75 coconuts. This is my favorite season so far.
All right.
Wowee.
Yeah. Zach, how about you on the pitchfork scale?
Pitchfork scale, we're going 7.0. I found it to be a decently enjoyable season. But I don't know. I like that we're doing this rating system because I can kind of compare it to other things. Like I gave Borneo, I think 7.2. Or 7.3, maybe something like that. I think 7.2, and that sounds about right. Like this, I mean, as far as gameplay goes, is really exciting. But I feel like the cast is pretty forgettable. I think that there's a reason only 2 people return. Though I do think there's a couple other people who could return that would have been good. But it just it kind of speaks to how forgettable it was. And coming back, I didn't remember a lot that happened in this season from the other times I watched it. And even though I had a fun time, I have a feeling that'll this season will kind of fade from memory again. So yeah, I think a 7's pretty good. I think that's what I would say.
All right,
because that's what I said. I did not say it. I didn't.
And I, on the mashed potato scale, I'm gonna give it an 81%.
Ooh, that's certified mashed.
That's certified mashed right there.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Because. Again, I didn't love it the first time I watched it, but with the context of where the show is, being able to see it all and watch it back, this is where I feel Survivor finally hits its stride in terms of, again, with the challenges, with the confessionals, with the tribe colors and the things we got a tribe swap that switched things up, so there wasn't a pagonging. It feels like Survivor is really coming into its own as its own identity.
Yeah.
So it's really unique for that. Well, I remembered about it originally is that not a whole lot of gameplay happened in it, and I think in the first half that's true. But I was really excited once we hit the merge and Boston Rob sort of pushed the game the direction it did. The gameplay was, it got there. It really did. And again, it's Kathy seasons to lose. Kathy is an enjoyable protagonist to watch through the whole thing. Vesepia is still a satisfying winner, even though it is sort of Kathy in the lead there.
Yeah.
So as a whole, I think where it did stumble was not a whole lot of Jeff again. There was a little bit more Jeff than Africa, but not as much as there has been in previous seasons.
And when we did get him, we got him. He was
When we got him,
we got him. He was announcing, and he was doing it.
He had some proper probstisms and whatnot. And like you said, Zach, there's a lot of this cast that is not great. I think the Row 2-4 as a whole is kind of a bland alliance, with the exception of
Johnny Pots and Pans.
Of course.
Obviously.
Of course.
We all know it.
Johnny Pots and Pans, can't forget him. But as a whole, I'd say it's, of the seasons we watch, I think it's my favorite so far. That's my review.
Better than Australia?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I for different reasons, though. Again, this is much more. I feel more comfortable with this.
Yeah.
Outback took a lot of chances, and that's why it was good. And this one is starting to hit the formula, and that's why it's good.
Yeah.
So they're good for different reasons. I really like it. That's going to be it for this episode.
Another one in the books.
Yeah. That is Survivor Marquesas. That is our review. Thank you for listening along with us. Really appreciate it.
Yeah. Shout out Boston Rob. Sorry to cut you off. Shout out Boston Rob. Thanks for coming by.
Thanks for stopping by, my guy.
That is big. We hope to have more celebrity interviews in the future. Who knows what it'll hold. Coming up next, we do have Survivor Thailand. We haven't actually watched any of this, Andrew.
We have not.
Well, what's your expectation going in? What do you hope to see?
Like I said earlier, we got Jack on my shoulder here telling me poo-poo.
Yeah.
We got Zach over here going, I remember it not being as poo-poo as he says. So we'll see.
All right.
It's definitely not.
So maybe poo-poo, maybe not.
It's definitely a little bit poo-poo.
Okay, a little bit poo-poo at the very least.
But it's how much poo-poo that I can't remember.
I'm hoping for a cool tribal council.
Okay, that's and I think we get that. All right, so tune in next episode where we talk about Survivor Thailand. Poo-poo or not poo-poo? Let's find out.